Hey guys, I was just updating a code that I was doing for who I think is going to win the Premier League. I just posted it on my website, and if you're on my website, you have to read it. If you're not on my website, I recommend you sign up just to read that code. It took me over 5 hours, and I've just added to it now. So it's crazy. And if what I'm saying happens, World War III is around the corner, which I have been saying for quite a while. And it's going to get triggered in 2023. Hello, Johnny. How you doing? Anfield Road End. Ooh, how you doing, Eric? You're good. 8 in the live, 3 likes. Brady's birthday, August the 3rd. So I'm just going to briefly go over. Svali's here. That's fantastic. Lady Hawk as well in the house. Guy Baldwin. I'm very grateful to my following. I'm very grateful. If you notice, the chat is never toxic anymore because a few people have left. A lot of knowledge being shared, a lot of positivity in the chat. I'm very grateful for the people that follow my work. Hey, how you doing? Sprinkle Fairy Dust from Derbyshire. Imran, hey, Hayden. So I'm just going to go through what happened yesterday in that Liverpool game, because at this point, it has to be waking up a few more people, even without the code. Adam, do you walk with your shoes off? Yeah. Yeah, it depends where I'm going. But when I go for like walks around my neighborhood, I am always barefooted. If I go for a run, of course not. When I'm driving, I don't. But when I go for walks, like 20-minute walks, yeah. Especially where I live as well, like there's actually quite a lot of sand on the roads, so it's very nice. But yeah, Bayern have a fantastic riddle for the Champions League. There's a couple of dark horses though, so be aware. Like Porto have a nice code, but I like Bayern. But there's a few teams, but I'm not sure Liverpool will turn it around. To be honest, the 5-2 down. Remember, I did a video about Klopp's 7-year curse. Notice that game has 7 goals in it. If again at this point they're going to somehow have a miracle happen and Liverpool come back and win in Madrid, then it's just purely the code, isn't it? Like what Real Madrid did to Man City last year. They pulled off a miracle and knocked them out. Didn't make any sense whatsoever. Love, light, and abundance to you and your followers. Thank you. Same back to you. So it was 5-2. Liverpool took a 2-0 lead. And Nunez, who's starting to score now, who has the same birthday as Messi, the 24th of June, he's starting to score now. Salah, he has been completely connected to the number 42 for a long time, the Egyptian king. So he got another 42. The most European goals in Liverpool history, 42. So when I saw that, I was like, Salah's not scoring again in this game, and he more than likely won't score in the second leg. They'll probably keep him on that 42, which likely indicates Liverpool are going out, that there's not going to be a miracle. Remember, they did perform a miracle in Istanbul in 2005 when they were 3-0 down, and they came back and beat Milan on penalties. And this year's Champions League final is in Istanbul. So I know history repeats itself a lot, but for that to happen, it's going to be monumental. If you do believe somehow Liverpool have a shot, you can have a tiny little bet on them. But basically, if Real Madrid score, it's over. And it's very rare that Real Madrid don't score at the Bernabeu. So the 2 Liverpool goals yesterday were so funny. Hey, Faisy. I didn't see all the goals, but I will tell you this, because my mate Thomas Lockwood, who, by the way, called who was going to score for Sunderland in an amazing riddle, crazy riddle on the website. He said he was going to get the Sunderland goal, and they lost 2-1 to Rotherham. He sent me the goals of Salah, and the second goal from Vinicius. And you can say it's fixed. You can say that it was pre-planned. I don't believe so. So the first one, Courtois, like the ball's bounced up, it's hit him on the knee, and then Salah's nicked in and put it in the goal. A criminal error from a Champions League goalkeeper, and he was the Champions League goalkeeper of the year last year. He was unbelievable, wasn't he? If you go back to his game against Man City, it's like it was unbelievable. So to make that error, to say, right, we're going to pass the ball back to you, it's going to take a weird bounce, it's going to come off your knee, make sure it goes perfectly to Salah. Salah, you've got to be there and make sure you finish it. And then the same with Vinny Jr. All right. You've got the ball. I think Gomez passed it back to Alisson, who has a female name. Gives it to Alisson. And again, Alisson didn't make any sense to open his body up to try and play out to the fullback. He should have just put his foot through it. And Vinny's closed him down. And Alisson's pinged the ball at his foot. And then it's gone in the goal. But again, there's so much margin for error there. It could have hit him on a different part of his foot. I've done that as a striker many times because of my speed. I've closed down the goalkeeper and got to the point where I've blocked his strike. But the ball didn't always go in the goal. I think it only ever happened once with me where I blocked the goalkeeper's kick and it went in. All right, it took weird bounces, went wide, or one time it went over. So again, it looks fixed. It looks like the players have rehearsed it and all of that, but it ain't happening. Just like the 40-yard screamers in the top corners, or the player hitting the crossbar from 25 yards and it bouncing on the line. It really has to be supernatural at this point. So you've got Real Madrid beating Liverpool 5-2 on the 52nd day of the year. Liverpool in Gematria equals 52. And the game was 5 months and 2 days after Queen Elizabeth's funeral. Pope equals 52. He was so connected to this game. So something huge is about to go down this year. All right. If you look at my code about who's going to win the Premier League, I'm not going to tell you here because I spent hours and hours and hours on the code. If you go on my website and read that code, it indicates to me World War III is going to be triggered after May. That doesn't mean it's going to be June. I'm saying it's not going to be triggered before May, from what I've seen, which is, I guess, is a good sign. It'll mean I do get to go to England. So these professional sports, which I'm trying to show you, they tell you where the world's going. And right now, Revelation's playing out, and it's all war-themed. So we're going to have a war approaching, World War III. All right, just like that Super Bowl was decided by 3 points. We're going to have World War III very soon. Yesterday, 9 out of 10 baskets I shot rolled around the rim and right out. What? Klopp won't get sacked. When it's somebody like Klopp, it's always going to be mutual consent. Klopp has done too much for the club, brought too much success back to the club for him to get sacked. They'll both part ways. They'll agree. Klopp will give a speech saying, I think I've basically done everything that I wanted to do with Liverpool, put them back on the map, basically won everything with them. They won't have him get sacked. I don't believe he'll be sacked. There'll be mutual consent because they've got to keep the prestige of Klopp. Okay? He's one of the very highest ranking Satanists in professional football. There's Klopp, there's your Guardiolas, there's your Ancelottis. All right? The coaches that seem to win everything, because these are high-ranking Satanists at the highest level. Will Real Madrid win the Champions League again this year? I'll be majorly shocked. They won 14 European Cups and 14s everywhere right now. I'll be majorly shocked. Yes, they could get the 15th, and you just had Mahomes win the Super Bowl, Mr. Number 15. I don't think Real Madrid are winning the Champions League, but they always say you can never write off Real Madrid in the European Cup. That's their whole storyline. Last year, the whole theme was the king of comebacks. All right? Team with the crown in their logo. And then we get King Charles right after. Adam, what about ownership changes? Are there codes involving them? I believe so. I haven't done enough codes to prove that, but everything's connected. So yeah, when there's new owners, it's very important. Newcastle got new owners, barely changed the squad. Look at the season they're having. Hey, how are you doing, Gabriel? Divine, much love to you both. They're doing great, and they have a great riddle to win the League Cup. A very good one, which I'll post at some point on my website. So, yeah, owners are important. Look what happened when Man City got taken over. They just dominated. PSG are owned by people from Qatar. Look what happened to them. They were a nobody team about 10, 15 years ago. St. Helens became world champions. Yep. Saint. My mum's called Helen. Much love. Tomorrow, 23-23. Yeah, much love, Georgie. Great coder. I want to tell you this today. Today's date is 2/22. 2/22. So just so you know that coronavirus was declared a global pandemic exactly 222 months after 9/11. Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. Order out of chaos equals 222. Lucifer Morningstar equals 222. So today is exactly 33 weeks after the Georgia Guidestones came down. Just so you all know, for you coders out there, look for 33s today. Right? The Georgia Guidestones came down on 7/6 on George Bush Jr.'s 76th birthday. We know 7 times 6 is 42. And the Georgia Guidestones came down 42 years after they got erected. So today is exactly 33 weeks after the Georgia Guidestones came down, which is massive. Church of England wants to remove male gender words from services and prayers. Again, I've told you all forever and a day that Satan's infiltrated the church. And so often people just ignore me. The Catholic Church is Satanism. Now you've got what's going on with the Church of England is Satanism. This is why I'm saying, stay away from the church. You can find God anywhere. You can communicate with God anywhere. Stay away from the church. They've pretty much all been infiltrated at this point. All right? We've seen the mega churches where they're millionaires. You've seen people like Kanye West perform these sermons. Could it be Napoli because of Maradona's death? No, well, of course it could be. Yesterday, they got their 6th win and stayed on 1 loss, like 61, the 18th prime to get their 18th point in the Champions League this season. I coded Napoli to win Serie A. That's pretty much done and dusted unless they have a collapse because of Maradona. I don't think they'll have them win the league and the Champions League, to be honest. If they do, you know it's all Maradona. The stadium's named after him. As above, so below is 222 as well. Nice. It's funny that in the German league, 1st and 2nd and 3rd all has 43 points. Super Bowl 57 was on the 43rd day of the year. So that's a great find. I didn't know that. Wow. So Bayern, Dortmund, and Union Berlin all have 43 points. And supposedly, you're hearing all this stuff. I think Bayern play Union Berlin next, which is all going to be connected to the Berlin Wall. I think Bayern will win that and get to 46 points. To be honest with you, I'm going to mark that down now. I've already seen something. I haven't seen the odds, but they've got the same amount of points. Berlin is connected to the Berlin Wall, and that's why they're doing so well. I actually did a wild code about this team and why they're doing so well. So that's 226. I have to mark that down. Yeah, let me just put that all the top 3 teams in the Bundesliga on what's today's date? 222 all have 43 points. Bayern, Borussia Dortmund, Union Berlin. Again, it's absolutely comical. That's a good find. I didn't see that. 4-3 is when we're told Jesus died and resurrected April the 3rd. So that's a good find with the 43s. I'll share that. Tomorrow, officially 33 weeks from Guidestone's removal. Yeah, from the removal, 7-7 technically. I don't really want to get into my opinion on Islam. I think everyone's entitled to their opinion. If they want to worship Allah and read the Quran, that's on them. I ain't an expert on it. I would recommend asking that question to somebody who's truly studied the Quran. How can I believe in God if all the famous people who are fake promote it? Because they say that they promote God, don't they? Their God is Lucifer. Their God's Lucifer. So when they're thanking God, which God? Their God is Lucifer. It's not Jesus Christ. Okay? And these idols, these icons are deceiving you every second of the day. What about Spurs for the Champions League? No, I think they're going out. I think Milan will knock them out. No, Spurs ain't winning the Champions League, in my opinion. They got to the final recently and got beat by Liverpool. I don't believe for a second Spurs will be winning the Champions League. Berlin Wall to Guidestones was some dates connected to another Brick in the Wall song, Pink Floyd. 4 times 3 equals 12, 12 times 3 equals 36. That's brilliant as well. I was born on 123 dating emoji, pure. And 666 is the 36th try. Let me just quickly look at something quickly. I want to see. Obviously, Bayern will be the favourites. They have the best squad. So let me check the odds, because it often gives it away. Not always, but it often gives it away. I'm going to check Napoli and Barca's odds as well, because I coded Napoli for the league, and I coded Barca. So let me find these odds for the futures. This site's in Spanish. All right. Let's go to... Where's the Bundesliga? Don't make it hard for me. It's going to say Alemania. There, Alemania, Bundesliga. Yeah, so Bayern are winning it then. Bayern are minus 650. And Dortmund are plus 700 and Union Berlin plus 1600. So Bayern are winning this league, even though there's 3 of them on the same amount of points more than halfway through the season. So that's told you Bayern are winning it. And let me check Serie A. That should be the same in Spanish as it is in English. Where are you? Italia. Where's Italia? You're showing Italia Serie A. Let's see if Napoli are... Oh, boom. Napoli have won the league then. It's done. They're minus 5,000. Napoli have won the league. So that's another future that I said. All connected to Maradona. So Napoli have won the league. That's over with those odds. And Premier League's super close between City and Arsenal. I've told you I've posted my code. I'm not going to go through that here. La Liga. Let me check what odds Barca are. Boom! Barca are minus 1,200. So it looks like Barca are winning the league. Napoli are winning the league, like I said. I've got my FA Cup decode on my website. I'm not going to tell you who. They're still in it. They're still in it. We'll see what happens with them. I'm not going to go through today's games with you. That type of stuff's on my website. I work my ass off coding these games. I put hours into the code. I ain't going live anymore to tell you who's going to win daily games. I won't do that again. So if you want to check it out, it's next to nothing to check out my site. I've posted a game today, and I think it's a very good code. So we'll see what happens with that. You think St. Helens will do the clean sweep? More than likely. According to the Quran, you'll be 33 years old in heaven. It's interesting. We know that 33 is a very, very, very important number. Famous people's job is to muddy the waters. Of course, I agree with that, brother. What's your opinion about Mr. Beast? He literally works for the beast of Revelation. Okay? So anyone who gets pushed to that level like Mr. Beast is working for the beast. We're going to challenge St. Helens, but we'll end up as runners-up. Well, yeah, and St. Helens, they play in red, don't they? But so do Wigan. It's probably those two, like you said, yeah. 33 is when the body is at its peak. Yeah, you got 33 vertebrae in your spine. 33 is a huge number. I recently did a one-on-one with a woman called Julie, and she's seeing 33 all over the place. Do you think World War III will be here soon? Yes. Very soon. I think triggered at the end of this year. And it'll be in full force, 2024, 2025, probably 2024, full force. Yeah, I do. Been saying it for 2 years, 2023, and I gave all the reasons for it. And you're just seeing more and more subtle programming online that we're going to see a war. We're seeing it. Putin's coming out. Biden's coming out. All right, all these tweets. I think the other day I saw World War III was trending. So, yeah. Told you this is the calm before the storm. When it's calm like this and there's somewhat normality, you can't envision a war. And that's where it comes. Boom, like what? Just needs one major announcement. It needs one major announcement to trigger it, or one threat. Or something on your screen where there's a huge explosion, or like, look what happened with 9/11. Literally a building came down. And look what that triggered. Worldwide panic. War in the Middle East. More surveillance. All from one day, that 9/11/2001, the date that changed the world. We are on the verge of another 9/11, but way bigger, where it's not just going to majorly impact a couple of nations, it's going to impact the whole world. Like, I'm hoping I get to England so I can actually fly, because soon enough we won't be flying. You ain't going to be flying during a war, are you? So anyone who works for airlines, I'd start thinking about another job. Oh no, guys. Oh, this is a nightmare for me. It's saying force quit applications. Your system has run out of application memory during this live. And if I force to quit, it's going to end my live. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Grenfell Tower fire deaths was 72. Has to be a human sacrifice ritual. I've actually got a code on that. It connects to Pope Francis, who became the Pope on the 72nd day of 2013. That whole Grenfell Tower was connected to Pope Francis, who works for the devil. Which country will start World War III? It's hard to say. You could say Russia and the Ukraine has basically somewhat already triggered World War III. Guys, can you see my screen where it's saying force quit applications, or is it only me who can see it? Are you just looking at me? I'm not going to force quit. I just want to know if you, so you can't see that. All right. Okay. It's just me then. So after this live, I'm going to have to force quit or relaunch. And I really have to clean up my computer. This is interesting. I can't see my face. Now I can. But I don't need to see my face, do I? It's about what I'm saying. Adam, what's the Cabin movie with the four horsemen of the apocalypse symbology? I don't watch movies or TV. I don't have a TV. I don't have Netflix. I might read about it. Hey, Hans, how you doing? He's once again in the woods. Yeah, Real Madrid and Liverpool are so connected to each other. That's why it's so hard to determine who's going to win these games. I didn't post anything for that game, like an actual post. I did Millwall to not lose to Burnley, and it finished 1-1. That was all connected to the Queen. That's why Burnley got their 73rd point and stayed on 21 wins, 73 the 21st prime. The Queen, married for 73 years, got married at age 21. Brady went 7-3 in Super Bowls, 21st year, the 21st century, and then retired on 2-1. I think out of all the primes, the best connections are 73 and 21. From what I've seen, that's why I coded Brady to win that Super Bowl before the season began. So I would say 73 and 21 are the biggest prime connections that I've ever come across. They lost the day after LeBron lost. Yeah, LeBron has shares in Liverpool. That's true. I coded Team Giannis in that game as well to win, and they won by 9. The world has been in war since Lucifer got kicked out of the third heaven to the second. I agree with that, but I'm just referring to what we perceive as war, the average person. Like everyone in the world's heard of World War I, World War II. All right, it looks like we're going to be the generation that is going to witness World War III. And the majority of people living as of now didn't experience World War I and World War II. So we don't know what to expect. We can only go off the history books, which we know are pure lies. Pure lies. We're in a spiritual war. Like that's 1,000%. Adam, do you think they will do Project Bluebeam? They're going to definitely, all this alien foreshadowing and the movies and comic books. Yeah, I think aliens are demons. I think they're going to portray these demons as aliens. The demons are going to reveal themselves. I think they've always been here, but I think we're going to get to a point where we can actually see them. We can actually see them. All right. What year will World War III start? I think it'll be triggered at the end of this year, and it'll really kick in 2024. Remember, Russia invaded the Ukraine on 224. This year is 247 years after the Illuminati and the US were founded. 247. Time connects to time, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. 247 is the 13th pentagonal number. The US can go to their 13th major war. So I believe it'll probably be triggered this year. You think they'll smash Real Madrid in the second leg? Nothing is a shock anymore. That's the issue now. Nothing is a shock. Like, how can you be 2-0 up at Anfield, which they call a fortress, dominating, literally killing Real Madrid? Their first shot was their opening goal, and then lose 5-2. Remember that Vinny does that celebration, the Baphomet. He did it when he scored the Champions League final. He does the Baphomet celebration. They all do, if you look hard enough. And when you wear the arm of God, demons will flee on sight 1,000,000%. They fear God. They fear the Holy Spirit that is lit. And they prey on the weak. All right? They just prey on the weak. And they're going to really attack the non-believers. People say they're going to come for the believers first. No, they're going to get the easy prey, which will be the non-believers, the gullible, the ignorant. Okay, they'll take advantage of those. That's what I believe at the beginning, anyway. I personally believe, and again, people have different opinions of this. I just go off what I believe. I believe the King James Bible version. That's the one I read. And people will say, "Oh, King James was this, and King James was." I believe that one. All right, I go off what has led me to God. The King James Bible, the Book of Revelation. I ain't changing. So people, it is frustrating that there's all these different Bibles and they're being rewritten. But again, the ultimate message of the Bible has never ever changed in any of them. Never changed. The ultimate message. Yeah, both goalkeepers, shocking. And they're arguably two of the best goalkeepers in the world.